Beloved, understand this. The great secret of life is not hidden in the stars, nor buried in some distant land. It is within you. It is the law of focus. That what you hold in the mind and feel as real in the heart must appear in your world. If you continually dwell upon lack, you will attract conditions that mirror lack. If you persist in focusing on abundance, you will find opportunities and circumstances aligning themselves with abundance. Life is not partial. It simply reflects what you persist in beholding. Imagination is not idle fantasy. It is the workshop of creation. The moment you picture something with conviction, clothed in the emotion of its reality, you have already set in motion the forces that must bring it to pass. Every outer event has its birth in an inner focus. Consider your mind as a garden. Your thoughts are the seeds, your feelings the water, and your attention the sunlight. If you sow weeds of doubt and fear, do not be surprised when your garden yields bitterness. But if you plant seeds of faith, joy, and victory, and keep your focus fixed upon them, you cannot escape the harvest of beauty and abundance. The subconscious accepts every impression you give it. It does not argue, it does not question, it simply brings forth. This is why focus is so vital. Each day, whether knowingly or not, you are impressing upon this fertile soil. The question is, what are you planting? Choose deliberately what you focus upon. Guard your attention as a sacred treasure. For where your focus goes, your future grows. Fix your inner gaze on the life you desire. Live in the end as though it were already so, and watch as the unseen takes shape before your eyes. For the truth is this: you are not a victim of chance, but a creator through focus. And what you focus on, you will surely attract. The law of attention is one of the most profound truths hidden in plain sight, yet overlooked by so many. Whatever holds your focus becomes the seed you plant in the unseen realm of consciousness, and every seed planted there must one day show itself in the visible world. Attention is not a casual thing. It is the most powerful force you possess. It is your creative brush, painting the canvas of your future, whether you do so knowingly or carelessly. What you give your attention to, you give your life to. For life faithfully reflects the object of your sustained focus. When you fix your attention on something, you give it vitality, even if it does not yet exist in your outer world. By dwelling upon it, imagining it, and feeling it as real, you make it alive within. And what is alive within must ultimately take form without. The unseen is not empty. It is the womb of creation, and attention is the act of conception. Each time you return to a thought, each time you imagine a scene and feel it vividly, you water that seed in the invisible soil of the subconscious. Whether you dwell on fear or faith, loss or gain, doubt or confidence, your focus is silently choosing the harvest that will one day come forth. Think of attention as a magnet. Whatever you consistently hold in your mind, you draw nearer and nearer. Even when you do not notice it, your focus shapes the subtle movements of your choices, your energy, and the circumstances that meet you. The person who constantly attends to obstacles will always find more obstacles. The one who fixes attention on possibilities will uncover paths where others see none. This is not mere positive thinking. It is the law of life, for you cannot attend to one thing persistently without it bearing fruit. The challenge then is not whether the law works, but whether you work the law wisely. If you scatter your attention between fear today and faith tomorrow, between abundance one moment and lack the next, you plant mixed seeds and wonder why your harvest is confusion. But when you hold a steady gaze, unwavering in your inner conviction, you will watch reality reshape itself to match the image you sustain. Tension is choice. In every moment you are deciding what to magnify and what to diminish. The more you look upon something, the more real it becomes to you, and the more it commands your world. You cannot afford to give casual attention to fear, resentment, or failure, for in doing so you lend them power to grow. Instead, turn your gaze deliberately toward the life you desire. Imagine its fulfillment. See yourself already living in the joy of it, and let your heart dwell there. In time, life will mirror your inner gaze. For what you focus on with conviction does not remain in the unseen. It emerges, clothed in the substance of your world. Life is a mirror, and the reflection it casts back to you is never arbitrary. It does not deliver according to your fleeting wishes or momentary desires, but according to what you continually focus upon, whether consciously or unconsciously. Many wonder why they desire success but face failure, why they long for love yet encounter rejection, or why they yearn for peace but live in turmoil. The answer is not hidden in luck, chance, or fate. It is in the images and emotions they persistently entertain within. For life does not give you what you want. It reflects what you continually focus upon. The mirror has no power to invent its own reflection. It simply reveals what stands before it. In the same way, life does not create apart from you. It mirrors the pattern of your dominant focus. If the inner image you hold is one of lack, unworthiness, or defeat, then no amount of surface-level wishing can alter the reflection. The outer world bends to the inner one, not the other way around. You may speak of prosperity, but if inwardly you dwell on struggle, your mirror cannot help but return that image. You may long for companionship, but if inwardly you sustain the feeling of loneliness, life's reflection will confirm that inner reality. What you focus upon becomes charged with energy. The more attention you give to a thought, the more alive it becomes within you until it shapes not only your perception, but the very events that unfold. Focus acts as a magnet, drawing like conditions, people, and experiences into your sphere. If you continually expect disappointment, you unconsciously prepare for it, move in ways that invite it, and notice only the circumstances that confirm it. If you continually focus on victory, you align with opportunities, adopt the posture of confidence, and attract outcomes that echo your inner stance. This is why fleeting desires so often fail. A person may say, "I want abundance," but their true focus is on debt, bills, and insufficiency. The mirror cannot reflect the want, it can only reflect the focus. Another may cry for healing but dwell upon sickness, rehearsing symptoms and imagining decline. The mirror is not unkind, it is faithful. It simply reflects the image before it. The great secret is that you hold the power to choose what stands before your mirror. If you would see a reflection of love, abundance, or peace, you must first make those the objects of your sustained attention. This means more than occasional daydreams. It requires dwelling upon them until they feel natural, until they become the background of your inner world. The outer reflection cannot resist a firmly held inner image. Life is not mocking you when it reflects struggle. It is showing you the focus that has been ruling you. change the inner gaze, and the reflection must follow. Just as surely as a mirror reflects the face before it, life reflects the focus within you. The choice is always yours. Imagination is not a child's plaything, nor an idle escape from reality. It is the very womb of creation. Every invention, every work of art, every structure of society began first as an image in the unseen. Your imagination is the workshop of the universe within you, and the pictures you hold there, when repeated with feeling, must clothe themselves in the physical world. To imagine is not to pretend, it is to create. For the world you see without is but the shadow of the world you build within. When you imagine something with intensity, you breathe life into it. The picture becomes charged with the emotion you pour into it. Thought alone may fade like smoke, but when clothed in feeling, it becomes substance. This is why daydreams pass away, but visions held with conviction endure until they manifest. The moment you feel the reality of your inner picture, you have already planted the seed of its appearance in the visible realm. Look at the great inventors and dreamers of history. Before a bridge was built, it was first constructed in the architect's imagination. Before a poem was written, it was heard inwardly in the silence of the poet's mind. Before a business was founded, it was lived and felt by its founder in the inner theater of vision. What they imagined persistently became the world's reality. For imagination is not bound by the limits of the senses. It is the power that gives birth to what the senses later confirm. Every time you rehearse an inner scene, you are shaping your tomorrow. If you imagine defeat and feel its sting, you are rehearsing it into being. If you imagine success and feel its joy, you are calling it forth into manifestation. Imagination does not distinguish between what is seen and what is unseen. It simply creates according to the impressions you feed it. This is why those who dwell on fear continually encounter reasons to be afraid, and those who dwell on hope continually find doors of opportunity opening before them. Consider your inner pictures as garments awaiting embodiment. You may imagine yourself strong, prosperous, and loved. And if you persist in this picture with the feeling that it is already yours, life must clothe you in the very reality you have seen within. The outer world is but the mirror of the inner one, and imagination is the hand that paints the reflection. The danger is not in imagination failing to create, but in imagining carelessly. Too many clothe themselves in garments of worry and despair, rehearsing scenes of loss and betrayal, and then wonder why such things appear. Yet the law is impartial. What you imagine with feeling, you invite into form. Let your imagination become sacred. See only that which you wish to experience. Picture it clearly, feel it deeply, and return to it often. In time, you will discover that your imagination is not a dream, but a prophecy. For your inner pictures, repeated with feeling, must clothe themselves in the physical world. Thought by itself is like a seed lying dormant on the surface of the soil. It has potential, but until it is pressed into the ground and watered, it remains lifeless. What presses thought into the fertile ground of creation is feeling. Feeling is the energy, the magnetism, the living force that gives thought its power to attract and to manifest. You may think 1,000 thoughts in a day, but only those wrapped in genuine emotion will imprint themselves upon the unseen and call forth their reflection in your outer life. Thought alone is not enough. It is the emotion behind it that magnetizes reality. Consider the times you have worried. A single fearful thought, when felt deeply, has the power to disturb your whole body, alter your breathing, and even disrupt your sleep. That is the strength of feeling. It makes thought alive. The same is true of joyful expectation. When you picture something desirable and allow yourself to feel the happiness of already possessing it, your body responds, your heart lifts, and your actions begin to align with the vision. In both cases, it is not the bare thought, but the felt reality that takes hold and begins to shape experience. Feeling is the language of the subconscious mind. The subconscious does not respond to empty words or detached reasoning. It responds to impressions charged with emotion. You can tell yourself, "I am wealthy," 1,000 times. But if inwardly you feel lack, the feeling will always outweigh the mere statement. On the other hand, if you close your eyes and dwell in the feeling of abundance, as though it were already your state, the subconscious accepts it as truth and works tirelessly to bring it forth. This is why affirmations often fail for those who repeat them mechanically. Words alone cannot plant the seed. It is the emotional atmosphere that surrounds the words which makes them fertile. When you feel the reality of what you affirm, the words become spirit and life. Without feeling, they are but sound and breath. With feeling, they are creation itself. It is also important to understand that the universe is impartial. It does not judge whether your feeling is of joy or sorrow, love or fear. It only knows to bring forth in kind. If you dwell habitually in the feeling of anxiety, life will mirror it. If you abide in the feeling of peace, peace will become your atmosphere. You cannot escape the harvest of your emotional state, for feeling is the magnet that draws like conditions to itself. Thus, the greatest work you can do is not merely to control your thoughts, but to direct your feelings. Train yourself to feel what you wish to experience. Let the joy of your desired outcome fill you now. Rest in the satisfaction of its fulfillment before it has appeared. In this way, you set the magnet of your being to draw in harmony with your desire. For it is not thought alone that creates. It is thought clothed in feeling that commands reality to take form. The subconscious is the silent ground of your being, a vast and fertile soil in which every idea you impress upon it takes root and grows. It does not argue with you. It does not question your authority. It does not distinguish between what is true or false, good or bad, desirable or undesirable. It simply receives the seed of thought and feeling you plant within it and, without fail, brings forth a harvest in your outer world. Whatever idea you impress upon it through focus and belief, it accepts and brings forth. Most people do not realize how obedient the subconscious is. It is like rich soil in a garden. It will grow weeds just as readily as it will grow flowers, depending on what you sow. If you continually impress it with fear, doubt, or limitation, those seeds will sprout as unwanted conditions in your life. If you impress it with faith, abundance, and victory, the same soil will just as faithfully bring forth those conditions. The soil makes no judgment. It yields according to the seed. Your conscious mind is the sower, the one with the power to choose what to plant. Every thought repeated with focus, every vision held with conviction, every emotion deeply felt is a seed pressed into the subconscious. Once planted, the subconscious sets to work in silence, arranging circumstances, guiding impulses, and shaping events to match the impression it has received. You may forget the seed you planted, but the soil does not forget. It continues to nurture it until the time of harvest. This is why so many live in cycles they cannot seem to escape. They pray for freedom but continually impress their subconscious with images of bondage. They desire prosperity but rehearse feelings of lack. They long for love but dwell upon rejection. The subconscious, being fertile soil, accepts the stronger impression and life reflects it. It is not cruelty but law. The subconscious always says yes to the seed it has been given, whether that seed is planted deliberately or by careless habit. The great secret is that you have the power to choose what impressions you allow to take root. You can deliberately impress your subconscious with the images and feelings of your desired state, returning to them until they sink deep into the soil of belief. Once accepted, the subconscious cannot help but bring them forth, for it works with perfect fidelity to the impressions it has received. Think of the farmer who plants a seed of wheat. He does not dig it up each morning to see if it is growing. He trusts the soil. In the same way, when you impress your subconscious with the feeling of your fulfilled desire, you need not strain or force its manifestation. You can rest in quiet confidence, knowing the soil is at work beneath the surface. In due season, the invisible will break forth into the visible. Guard the seeds you plant, for the soil of the subconscious is always fertile. It does not rest, it does not fail, it only produces after its kind. Plant deliberately, water with feeling, and trust the soil to bring forth in abundance. For what you impress upon it, it accepts, and what it accepts, it must manifest. You cannot escape the law of attraction, for it operates ceaselessly whether you are aware of it or not. Every moment of your life you are attracting, drawing experiences, people, and circumstances into your orbit. The true question is not whether you attract, but whether you do so by design or by default. If you do not choose your focus deliberately, your attention will be scattered among worries, fears, and the impressions of the outer world, and these will silently dictate the course of your life. But if you take hold of your focus and direct it toward what you desire, you become the master of your destiny rather than the victim of chance. Your focus is the steering wheel of your life. Wherever it points, your energy flows. And whatever you energize must eventually take form. To focus by default is to let circumstances dictate your gaze. It is to allow the noise of the world, the opinions of others, and the residue of yesterday's experiences to decide what images you carry within. In this state, you react rather than create, and life seems to toss you about like a ship without a rudder. You may long for freedom, yet your focus on limitation binds you. You may wish for joy, yet your focus on disappointment keeps you in sorrow. To focus by design, however, is to choose deliberately the images and feelings you allow to dominate your inner world. It is to say, though appearances may suggest otherwise, I will direct my gaze to the reality I desire. It is the practice of lifting your attention from lack to abundance, from fear to faith, from chaos to peace, until your inner atmosphere becomes the dominant force of your life. In this way, you set the law of attraction to work in your favor, for the outer world must conform to the image consistently held within. This choice of focus is the difference between living as a creator or as a victim. The victim believes that life happens to them, that circumstances arrive by chance. The creator knows that life mirrors their focus and therefore takes responsibility for what they hold in mind. Even in the midst of difficulty, the creator does not surrender their focus to despair, but continues to dwell upon the desired outcome with feeling and conviction. In time, the unseen responds, and circumstances shift to reflect the chosen image. Do not underestimate the power of a sustained focus. A momentary wish, quickly abandoned, bears little fruit. But a focus held steadily, repeated with feeling, becomes a force no outer obstacle can resist. Just as a stream carves its way through rock by persistence, so your chosen focus carves the path for your destiny. You are always attracting. Each day, each hour, your focus is planting seeds in the soil of life. Ask yourself, am I attracting by default, surrendering my power to the drift of circumstance? Or am I attracting by design, shaping my world with deliberate attention? The law makes no exceptions. It will reflect back what you hold within. Choose wisely, for where your focus goes, your life must surely follow. And so we see that life is not a mystery mocking us, but a faithful servant reflecting us. What you focus on becomes the seed you plant. What you feel gives it power. What you imagine clothes it with form. And what you impress upon the subconscious must emerge as your world. You are never without power, for the choice of focus is always in your hands. The mirror of life does not decide for you, it only reflects you. Therefore choose deliberately, imagine boldly, feel deeply, and fix your gaze upon the life you truly desire. In doing so, you will discover that what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable, for the unseen will always bow to the vision sustained within. Thank you for lending me your attention, for it is the most precious gift you possess. May you leave with the resolve to guard it well, to focus with intention, and to create your world by design.
To climb the ladder is not merely to ascend, step by step, in the outer world. It is instead a journey that begins within you, in the realm of imagination and unshakable belief. In life, the journey toward any goal begins with a vision of the destination. This vision isn't simply a vague hope or wish, it must be a clear, vivid picture in your mind. To reach a destination, it must be unmistakably present in your imagination, as real as the world around you, and more solid than anything the physical world might suggest. Most people drift through life without an exact destination. They move aimlessly, pulled by whatever forces surround them, reacting to the currents of daily life, rather than steering a course. To climb any ladder of achievement, you must step out of this reactionary approach and decide, with precise intention, exactly where you wish to go. Imagine a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble. Before any sculpting begins, there is a clear image in the mind of the artist. The finished form exists already in imagination before the first tool touches the stone. In the same way, your destination must be clear and complete in your mind before you begin your journey. You don't need to know every detail about how you will reach your goal, or even how the shape of your journey will unfold, but you must have a vision of what your destination looks and feels like. In the realm of personal transformation, clarity of desire is essential. When you know where you want to be, your inner world begins to align with this vision, sending forth the signals that bring your goal into reality. Knowing your destination is not just an intellectual process, it is a full-bodied experience. When you decide on your destination, feel it deeply within you. Visualize it with such intensity that you can see, touch, and experience it internally. This internal clarity aligns your subconscious mind with your conscious desire, directing all of your mental and emotional resources toward that one end. If your destination remains cloudy or undefined, the journey itself will mirror this lack of focus. Life's currents will push and pull you, and without a clear destination, you may find yourself adrift, unsure of where you're headed. Imagine your destination as already attained, for in the realm of thought, time does not bind you. Picture the life you wish to live as if it were happening now. When you do this, You're not deceiving yourself, you're activating one of the most potent forces in existence, the power of imagination. The mind does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is actually happening. It responds to both with equal commitment. When you hold a clear image of your destination in your mind, your actions, choices, and responses to the world naturally shift to reflect that vision. It's as though the destination calls you forward, guiding you effortlessly along the path. Consider the mind as a magnetic field. It pulls into your life experiences, opportunities, and people that align with your dominant thoughts and desires. A clear destination serves as the magnet that attracts everything needed to bring it into reality. Each day, visualize this destination, returning to it in your mind until it feels as natural as the present moment. This practice strengthens the power of your destination to draw you forward, making the journey smoother and filled with opportunities you may have never seen otherwise. When your destination is clear, obstacles lose their power to deter you. Challenges arise for everyone, but those with a well-defined goal see each challenge as a step closer to fulfillment rather than a hindrance. This clarity allows you to interpret difficulties as lessons, as ways of refining your skills, your patience, or your determination. Every rung on the ladder, no matter how difficult, has a purpose when the destination is firmly in mind. With clarity, you gain a resilience that those without a defined goal rarely experience. You are not easily swayed or discouraged, for the image of your destination burns brightly within you, even in the face of setbacks. Furthermore, a clear destination allows you to act with intention. When you know where you're going, you don't waste time or energy on pursuits that don't serve your purpose. You have a sense of direction, a clarity that guides your actions and decisions. But instead of scattering your energy, you are able to focus it entirely on that which moves you closer to your goal. Even small steps become meaningful when they are directed toward a specific end. Life becomes purposeful, and each moment feels valuable because it is part of a larger journey. There's a subtle but powerful shift that happens within when your destination is clear. The future becomes part of your present reality. You no longer see yourself as someone striving to achieve something distant. Rather, you see yourself as someone who already embodies the qualities and attributes of your goal. Your destination is not a separate entity you're pursuing, it is an extension of who you are becoming. In this way, you grow into the person who belongs at the top of the ladder, making the journey less of a struggle and more of a natural progression toward what is already yours in consciousness. It's easy to be distracted by life's demands and to let your focus blur. That's why it's essential to revisit your destination regularly, reinforcing it in your mind. Each day, spend time visualizing your goal, strengthening its presence in your thoughts. Remind yourself why this destination matters to you, what it will mean for your life, and who you will become as you reach it. Let your heart and mind grow accustomed to this image, so it becomes part of your identity. This practice not only keeps your goal alive within you, but also fuels the energy needed to make it a reality. Clarity of destination is a powerful force, shaping not only your actions but your entire way of being. It gives you purpose, aligns your thoughts, and brings focus to your daily life. With a clear destination, you are no longer merely climbing, you are ascending towards something meaningful, something that resonates with the deepest parts of you. In knowing where you wish to go, you summon the courage, resilience, and wisdom to make the journey. You are climbing the ladder not with blind ambition, but with a steady, unwavering vision that lights your path and draws you upward. This clarity is the seed from which your success grows, and it is in every way the first step to achieving your dreams. Living in the feeling of your desire is about creating an inner reality so vivid that it feels as real as your present surroundings. The essence of this approach is to bridge the gap between wanting something and experiencing it as though it already exists in your life. Many people think of their desires as distant, often feeling the lack of them rather than their presence. Yet, to truly bring a desire to life, one must learn to embody its feeling as a present experience, allowing it to permeate one's thoughts, emotions, and responses to life. Imagine for a moment the specific desire you hold. Rather than seeing it as something out there, as an object to reach for, Picture yourself already in the situation you wish to create. Close your eyes and fill your mind with the sensory experiences that would surround you. What do you see? What do you hear? How does it feel? By immersing yourself in these imagined details, you can bring the experience into your present moment. This exercise is not mere daydreaming, it is the art of conditioning your mind and body to resonate with the frequency of your desire. The mind responds to vivid, emotionally charged images, and as you continually impress these feelings upon yourself, they begin to shape your external reality. In the feeling of your desire means that internally you cease to wait for something to happen. Instead, you allow yourself to experience the satisfaction of having what you seek. For example, if your desire is for financial abundance, consider how you would carry yourself if you already lived in a state of wealth. How would you speak, act, and feel if abundance were a natural part of your life? Adopting these internal states does more than just make you feel good temporarily, it shifts your entire mental atmosphere, aligning you with the experiences and opportunities that match this vibration. The body and mind don't distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and an actual one. When you hold the feeling of your desire as if it's happening now, your subconscious mind begins to adjust itself to this new state. Over time, this inner alignment influences your beliefs, which in turn affect your actions. Every action you take becomes infused with the confidence and energy of one who already possesses what they desire. This shift changes how you engage with the world, and in turn, how the world responds to you. Opportunities and circumstances start to arise that mirror the inner state you've cultivated. Living in the feeling of your desire also means releasing resistance. Often when we yearn for something, we're hyper-aware of its absence, which creates a barrier between us and our goal. When you place your focus on lack or on the idea that you must achieve something, you're in a state of wanting rather than possessing. However, by consciously practicing the feeling of fulfillment, you dissolve this resistance. You stop operating from a place of need, scarcity, or urgency. Instead, you are centered in a sense of completeness, radiating an assurance that the outer world eventually echoes back to you. This approach goes beyond traditional methods of hard work or struggle. It teaches that transformation comes from within, from aligning with your desire internally rather than forcing external changes. Effort is not disregarded, but it is guided by a powerful, calm assurance rather than fear or insecurity. Actions taken from this place of inner certainty are more effective, as they are rooted in authenticity and purpose rather than desperation. When you live in the feeling of your desire, effort becomes inspired rather than strained, as your actions stem from a vision that feels inevitable. This way of being is a practice of faith in your imagination, in the power of your consciousness to bring about the reality you envision. Living in the feeling of your desire requires a belief in the unseen, in the notion that your thoughts and emotions are powerful forces shaping your world. By consistently returning to this inner feeling of fulfillment, you strengthen your connection to your desire, allowing it to mature and manifest at the right moment. This process is not rushed, it is nurtured, like a seed that grows in its own time. Trusting in this rhythm brings a peace that outlasts the fleeting excitement of immediate results. Living in this feeling transforms how you view obstacles. If your inner world is shaped by the sensation of already having your desire, then challenges lose their power to deter you. You view setbacks not as signs of failure but as part of the unfolding process. Each obstacle is a chance to strengthen your vision, to affirm your commitment to the feeling of your desire, and to deepen your belief. The confidence you cultivate through this practice helps you remain resilient, undeterred by the fluctuations of external circumstances. To live in the feeling of your desire is also a radical act of self-love. It means that you allow yourself to experience joy, satisfaction, and fulfillment now, rather than deferring these states to some future condition. You are not waiting for life to grant you happiness, you are choosing to embody it, knowing that this choice creates your world. When you embrace the feeling of your desire, you give yourself permission to be whole, complete, and at peace in the present. This inner abundance then attracts outer manifestations of the same quality as like attracts like. In time, this practice of living in your desires feeling becomes a natural part of your existence. It is no longer an act of pretending, but a deep alignment with the life you envision. Your relationships, your work, your environment all begin to reflect the fulfillment you carry within. People respond differently to you, opportunities come to you with greater ease. This is not coincidence, it is the outcome of a deliberate inner state that shapes the outer world in harmony with your desires. The power of living in the feeling of your desire lies in its simplicity and in its profound effect on your consciousness. It transcends conventional ideas of success and brings you into harmony with your authentic self. When you no longer look outward for proof of your worth, you liberate yourself from the conditions that once bound you. Instead, you create from a place of inner truth, knowing that the world will align with the fulfillment you have already embraced within. In this way, your journey becomes one of joyful realization, a path where your desires are not chased but welcomed, where you live as though your dreams are already true, because within you they are. When it comes to achieving a desire or manifesting a goal, one of the most challenging steps is learning to release the how. Many people get stuck trying to figure out precisely how their desire will come to fruition, meticulously planning every detail, analyzing each possible scenario, and worrying about the path they should take. This approach, however, often introduces doubt and restricts the natural flow of creation. To truly bring about what you seek, you must let go of the need to control the specific way it will arrive. This does not mean abandoning your goal or becoming passive. It means surrendering the detailed mechanics and trusting the process. The need to know how is a habit rooted in the mind's need for certainty. We naturally want to understand and control our experiences because it provides a sense of safety. But the path to any meaningful goal often involves an element of mystery, a series of events that we cannot predict in advance. When we cling to the need to know every step, we limit the possibilities for how our desire could manifest. Life has a way of bringing about our intentions in ways that are often surprising and better than we might have imagined. By fixating on a specific how, we close ourselves off from these unforeseen opportunities and limit the potential for something greater. Imagine planting a seed in the soil. You don't dig it up every day to check if it's sprouting or worry over how it's growing beneath the surface. You trust the natural process, knowing that with water, sunlight, and time, it will emerge in its own way. Similarly, when you set an intention, you must let it grow naturally without interference. Just as a plant grows according to its own design, your desire will unfold in alignment with the broader tapestry of life. When you release the how, you allow unseen forces to work on your behalf, aligning circumstances and resources that may be beyond your current awareness. Or the source of creation operates in ways we cannot always comprehend. It's like an orchestra where each instrument knows exactly when to play, creating a harmonious symphony. Your role is not to conduct the entire performance, but to remain centered in your desire and open to the cues that life provides. Trying to control the how is like insisting that each musician follow your specific timing, rather than allowing the natural flow of the music. Trusting in this orchestration allows you to be part of the process, rather than fighting against it. It frees you from the stress and mental strain of constant worry, allowing you to focus on nurturing the vision itself. By releasing the need to control the how, you step into a position of faith. Faith, in this sense, is not blind optimism, it's a deep understanding that the process of creation is intelligent and responsive. When you hold on to the how, you're essentially communicating doubt. You're saying, I don't believe this can happen unless I control every detail. In contrast, when you release it, you signal a profound trust in the flow of life and the power of your own vision. This surrender empowers you to stay focused on the feeling of your desire rather than dispersing your energy in unnecessary worry. Another benefit of releasing the how is the ability to stay flexible and responsive to the unexpected. Life often brings us opportunities or resources that do not look like what we initially imagined. If we are too fixated on a single way for our desire to manifest, we may miss these subtle nudges. When you let go of rigid expectations, you become open to possibilities that are just as valid and sometimes more aligned with your purpose than anything you could have planned. You allow yourself to move with life, adapting and responding, rather than trying to force your will upon it. This doesn't mean inaction or a lack of effort. Action is an essential part of the manifestation process. However, when you release the how, your actions become inspired rather than forced. Instead of taking steps driven by fear or control, you are led by intuition and clarity. You act because you feel drawn to certain things, people, or ideas, not because you feel pressured to make something happen. This shift makes your journey far more enjoyable, as each step becomes an exploration rather than a means to an end. Your actions are infused with the joy of creation, rather than the stress of achieving. Furthermore, releasing the how is an act of self-empowerment. When you believe you must figure out every detail, you diminish your own capacity to trust in yourself and the unfolding process of life. By releasing the need to control, you step into a mindset of abundance, knowing that what is meant for you will come in the right way and at the right time. This attitude removes the fear of missing out or failing. You understand that there is no need to scramble or force things because you trust in your ability to attract what you need. This sense of freedom ultimately creates a sense of inner peace. When you stop agonizing over the how, you liberate yourself from the stress and mental chatter that often come with overthinking. You can focus on the present moment, on the actions and choices that feel right now, without worrying about future outcomes. In this peaceful state, you become more receptive to inspiration and creativity, which often lead to precisely the answers or pathways you were seeking in the first place. Releasing the how allows you to enjoy the journey. You no longer see life as a series of hurdles to overcome, but rather as a flowing river that carries you forward. This doesn't mean you will never face challenges, but you learn to see each obstacle as part of the process rather than as something to control or fear. You cultivate resilience, knowing that you have the inner strength to navigate any situation. Trusting the flow of life frees you from attachment to specific outcomes and opens you to the beauty of unfolding possibilities. Releasing the how is an act of courage. It's a choice to trust in something larger than yourself, to allow life to guide you even when you cannot see the full path. It's an invitation to experience life as an adventure rather than a puzzle to solve. By holding your desire in mind with clarity and releasing the need to control every step, you align with a creative force that is far greater than your individual plans. You let life surprise you, moving beyond limitation and into a state of freedom, trust and ease. And in this place you discover that what you seek comes to you not because you forced it, but because you allowed it. To truly bring your desires to life, you must embody the identity of the person who already has what you want. This concept transcends mere wishful thinking or visualization. It calls for a deep-rooted transformation in how you see yourself and how you relate to the world. Instead of seeing your desire as something outside of yourself, something you hope to achieve or possess in the future, embodying the identity means adopting the thoughts, behaviors, and energy of the person you aspire to become right here and now. Embodying the identity is about redefining your self-concept, which is the blueprint of your life. Every action, decision, and response you have stems from the way you perceive yourself. If you see yourself as someone struggling, someone who wants but does not yet have, that perception shapes your reality. However, when you shift to seeing yourself as someone who already embodies the qualities, experiences, and abundance you desire, you move in alignment with that reality. The world, then, begins to reflect this new self-concept back to you. This process starts with the mind, but it must go deeper than intellectual understanding. It requires you to change your mental habits, replacing old beliefs with new, empowering ones. Take time to ask yourself, what does this new identity think, feel, and believe? If your desire is to be successful in a specific field, what would your inner dialogue sound like if you were already established in that field? Would you worry about things that seem uncertain now? Or would you trust in your own skills and abilities, knowing that you're capable of handling any challenge? The thoughts of the person who has achieved what you desire are likely different from those of the person still striving for it. By practicing these thoughts, you begin to cultivate the mindset necessary for your transformation. This doesn't mean ignoring reality, but choosing to shape it from the inside out. Each thought and belief is like a building block, constructing the foundation of your new identity. Consistently practicing these thoughts rewires your mind, so they become automatic, replacing doubt and fear with confidence and self-assuredness. In addition to changing your thoughts, you must also change your emotional state. Emotions have a powerful impact on your subconscious mind, which influences the experiences you attract. Consider the emotions of someone who already has what you seek. If your desire is a fulfilling relationship, for example, what would that person feel on a daily basis? Would they feel loved, valued, and appreciated? Practice embodying these emotions, not just once but regularly, so they become a natural part of your inner state. It may feel strange at first, but over time, embodying these emotions trains your subconscious mind to accept this new identity. Your subconscious cannot distinguish between actual experiences and vividly imagine once it responds to feelings and images you hold as if they were real. By aligning your emotional state with your desired reality, you shift into the frequency of that experience, attracting corresponding situations and people into your life. And equally important is to align your actions with your new identity. Imagine the behaviors and habits of the person who has achieved your goal. If you want to be a successful artist, how would you spend your days? What routines or disciplines would you adopt? Embodying the identity means not only thinking and feeling as if you already are this person, but also acting accordingly. This doesn't require you to make drastic changes all at once. Instead, it involves small, consistent actions that reinforce your desired self-concept. For instance, if your goal is financial abundance, start behaving in ways that reflect abundance, even if on a small scale. Invest in yourself, act with confidence, and avoid actions that reinforce scarcity. This might mean budgeting thoughtfully, but without a mindset of fear. Each action, however minor, contributes to a new self-concept, building momentum as you move forward. Over time, these small actions compound, and you find yourself living in alignment with the identity you once only envisioned. One of the most transformative aspects of embodying an identity is the ripple effect it has on other areas of your life. When you truly believe you are someone who achieves what they set out to do, this mindset affects everything you touch. You approach challenges differently, seeing them as opportunities for growth rather than as obstacles. Relationships, work, health all begin to reflect the internal shifts you've made. By consistently embodying the identity of your ideal self, you start to attract experiences and people who resonate with this new version of you, creating a reality that mirrors your inner world. It is crucial to remain patient with yourself as you shift into this new identity. Changing your self-concept takes time and practice. There may be moments when old thoughts and doubts resurface, especially in the face of setbacks. However, remember that these are simply remnants of your former self. Instead of being discouraged, use these moments as opportunities to reaffirm your new identity. Acknowledge the old patterns without judgment, and then choose thoughts and actions aligned with the person you are becoming. This way, you continuously reinforce your new self-concept, even when external results may not yet fully reflect it. Another powerful tool for embodying your new identity is visualization. Spend time each day seeing yourself living the life you desire, fully immersing yourself in the details of that reality. Feel the joy, pride, or peace that comes with being the person you wish to be. Visualization, when practiced regularly, strengthens your connection to your desired self, making it easier to live in alignment with this identity in your daily life. This practice not only serves as a mental rehearsal but also deepens your commitment to your goal, helping you stay focused even when external circumstances seem unchanged. Embodying the identity of your future self is an act of self-creation. You are not passively waiting for life to change, you are actively shaping your reality from within. By aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the vision of your desired self, you build a foundation for lasting transformation. This journey is not about becoming someone else, it is about uncovering and nurturing the highest potential within you. You are giving life to the person you are meant to be, bringing your dreams into the realm of experience by first creating them in the inner landscape of your mind and heart. As you practice embodying this new identity, you begin to witness its impact in tangible ways. The outer world, like a mirror, reflects back the inner shifts you have made. Opportunities arise, people respond differently to you, and challenges seem less daunting. This is the power of embodying the identity of the person who already has what you desire. It's a powerful reminder that reality is shaped not by what we wish for, but by who we choose to be. Through your commitment to this transformation, you unlock a life that resonates with your truest aspirations, experiencing firsthand the boundless potential that was always within you. When it comes to manifesting our desires, we often fall into the habit of equating effort with progress. Society teaches us that hard work is the key to success, that pushing through obstacles with relentless effort is the only path to achieving our dreams. But in the process of creation, true power lies not in forceful exertion, but in unwavering faith. Persisting in faith, rather than effort, means cultivating a quiet, confident belief in the outcome, even when there is no tangible evidence of its arrival. This approach is grounded in a calm assurance that the reality we seek is already ours, a confidence that allows us to release the need for struggle and embrace a sense of inner certainty. To persist in faith, we must first understand that creation is a cooperative process with the universe, or with life itself. It's not something we force into existence, but something we allow to unfold. When we fixate on the how and obsessively labor to control every step, we close ourselves off from the natural flow of opportunities and insights that could lead us to our desires. It's as if we are trying to control the course of a river with our hands instead of trusting it to carry us forward. Faith is what allows us to trust in this unseen power and let go of the need to manipulate outcomes. It's a choice to believe that life has our back, that the answers will come, and that everything is aligning perfectly even if we cannot yet see the path. This doesn't mean that action isn't part of the process, it's essential. But action taken from a place of faith is different from action driven by doubt or fear. When we act out of faith, our actions feel inspired, joyful, and intuitive, not forced or frantic. We take steps because we feel naturally drawn to them, not because we think we must strain and toil to make things happen. Faithful action is accompanied by a sense of inner calm and clarity, knowing that each step is part of a larger, unfolding plan. It feels light, not burdensome. When we persist in faith, we do what is needed without trying to control every detail, releasing the need for outcomes to arrive on a strict timetable. Persisting in faith also requires a deep trust in the timing of events. Often we push and strive because we feel a sense of urgency and impatience for our desires to manifest. This impatience is rooted in the belief that our happiness or worth is tied to achieving a particular result. But when we operate from a place of faith, we learn to trust that everything unfolds in its own time, that the journey is just as valuable as the destination, that each delay, each challenge, each moment of stillness is an essential part of the process, designed to prepare us, strengthen us, or redirect us in ways we might not initially understand. Faith reminds us that timing is never wrong, and that a temporary pause doesn't mean failure, but often a necessary pause for growth or alignment. Faith also helps us to remain resilient in the face of setbacks. Without faith, every obstacle feels like a threat to our dream. Every delay feels like a failure. But with faith, we see these challenges as part of a larger picture, often guiding us to something even greater than what we originally envisioned. Instead of viewing setbacks as signs to give up, we can see them as invitations to deepen our belief in the process. When we encounter resistance, we don't need to fight it with force. Instead, we lean into our faith, knowing that each challenge has something to teach us. This resilience transforms setbacks from discouragements into stepping stones, each one bringing us closer to our goal. Persisting in faith means cultivating a sense of gratitude for what is already unfolding. Gratitude shifts our focus from lack to abundance, from impatience to appreciation. It allows us to see the progress we're making, even if it seems small. When we're grateful for each step, each experience, we build momentum and create a fertile environment for our desires to take root. Faith and gratitude go hand in hand, as gratitude reinforces our belief that that we are on the right path, and that everything is unfolding perfectly. By focusing on what we already have, we cultivate an inner richness that attracts more of what we desire, reinforcing our faith in the process. An essential part of persisting in faith is maintaining a vision of the outcome, feeling as if our desire is already realized. This vision acts as an anchor, reminding us why we began and keeping us connected to our dream. But instead of holding this vision with a sense of yearning or desperation, we hold it with quiet confidence, embodying the feeling of already having it. This feeling doesn't just create a mental image, it resonates on a deeper level, aligning us emotionally with our desire. When we feel the joy, peace, or fulfillment that comes with realizing our dream, we naturally align with it. Our faith becomes a steady presence, not a hope, but a knowing that what we desire is already on its way. It's important to note that faith is an active practice, something we must choose daily. Our minds will inevitably present doubts, fears, or old patterns of thinking, especially when external circumstances seem unfavorable. But each time we choose faith over fear, we strengthen our belief. Faith grows in the face of doubt, not by avoiding it, but by acknowledging it and choosing to believe in a greater reality. This practice builds resilience, allowing us to stay steady and grounded even when things seem uncertain. It's a gentle reminder that while we may not see the full picture, we can trust that it's unfolding beautifully. In persisting in faith, rather than effort, we experience a profound sense of freedom. We're no longer burdened by the weight of needing to control every outcome or having to make things happen. Instead, we live from a place of trust and ease, knowing that our role is to align with our vision and take inspired actions, but not to force or manipulate reality. This approach frees us from stress and anxiety, allowing us to enjoy the journey rather than focusing solely on the destination. When we release the need for relentless effort, we align ourselves with a natural flow that is both supportive and sustaining. Persisting in faith transforms not only our external reality but our inner state. It brings a sense of peace and wholeness that no amount of effort can provide. It allows us to live with a quiet confidence, grounded in the assurance that everything is as it should be, and that what is meant for us will not pass us by. Through faith, we transcend the limitations of our circumstances and step into a life of possibility, joy, and fulfillment. We become not just seekers but creators, shaping our reality from a foundation of trust, allowing our desires to manifest in the most perfect way and in the most perfect time. Staying aligned with gratitude is not just about occasional expressions of thanks, it's about cultivating a deep, sustained state of appreciation that permeates your entire being. Gratitude is a powerful tool that aligns you with the energy of abundance, love, and fulfillment. When you embrace gratitude as a way of life, you tap into a frequency that attracts more of what you value and appreciate. This is because gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from what you don't have to what you do, creating a magnetic pull that brings more blessings and opportunities into your life. At its core, gratitude is the recognition of the good that is already present. Often we tend to fixate on what we want to achieve, acquire, or become, believing that only when we reach a certain goal will we feel satisfied. But in reality, this mindset keeps us in a perpetual state of waiting, making happiness conditional on external circumstances. Gratitude, however, grounds us in the present moment, teaching us that joy is available to us here and now. It shifts our attention from the future or the past to the present, helping us appreciate each moment as it unfolds. By consistently practicing gratitude, you begin to realize that abundance is not merely a material concept, it is a state of mind. When you are grateful, you recognize the richness of your life, whether it is in relationships, health, opportunities, or even the small moments of peace and contentment. This mental shift from scarcity to abundance empowers you to see life's challenges differently. You stop viewing obstacles as setbacks, and instead, you begin to see them as opportunities for growth and learning. Gratitude allows you to find value in all experiences, positive or negative, understanding that each one contributes to your journey. Living in gratitude doesn't mean ignoring challenges or denying pain. It means choosing to focus on what you can appreciate, even in the midst of difficulties. Every situation, no matter how challenging, holds within it an opportunity to find something to be thankful for, whether it's the strength you gain, the lessons you learn, or the resilience you build. This mindset transforms how you interact with life, helping you to stay hopeful and focused even when things aren't going exactly as planned. Gratitude allows you to face challenges with a sense of grace, knowing that every experience has a purpose, even if it's not immediately apparent. When you stay aligned with gratitude, you develop a resilience that isn't easily shaken by external circumstances. Instead of reacting to life from a place of fear, worry, or frustration, you respond from a place of peace and trust. Gratitude helps you build a foundation of inner stability, a place within yourself where you can return whenever life feels overwhelming or uncertain. This inner peace is not contingent on things going your way, rather, it's a result of your decision to find value and beauty in what is already present in your life. By focusing on the good, you are creating a mental environment where more good can grow. One of the most profound effects of gratitude is how it strengthens your connection with others. When you're grateful, you naturally radiate positive energy, which makes you more approachable, warm, and supportive. People are drawn to those who live in gratitude because they feel uplifted by their presence. Relationships become more harmonious because gratitude shifts the focus from what is lacking to what is abundant. You start to appreciate the people in your life for who they are, rather than for what they can give you, creating a deeper, more genuine connection with them. Gratitude also brings about a heightened awareness of life's simple pleasures. Too often we overlook the small moments that make life beautiful: a sunset, a warm cup of tea, a kind gesture from a friend. By staying aligned with gratitude, you train yourself to notice and savor these moments. You realize that happiness doesn't have to be grand or monumental. It can be found in the ordinary, in the moments that often go unnoticed. This awareness enriches your experience of life, filling it with moments of joy and contentment that might otherwise have been missed. Practicing gratitude daily reinforces this state of alignment. Start each day by reflecting on a few things you are grateful for. These don't have to be major accomplishments. They can be as simple as a good night's sleep, a meaningful conversation, or the ability to breathe and move. When you make this practice a habit, it becomes a way of grounding yourself before the demands of the day take over. You carry this energy of gratitude with you, influencing how you react to events, interact with others, and approach challenges. By consciously setting an intention to be grateful, you create a foundation for a positive and abundant mindset throughout the day. Gratitude also has a powerful effect on your ability to manifest your desires. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you are essentially affirming that your needs are met, that you are content and fulfilled. This vibration of abundance attracts more abundance. The universe responds to the energy you emit, so by staying in a state of gratitude, you align yourself with more of what you desire. Instead of approaching life from a sense of lack or yearning, you operate from a place of fulfillment, which naturally draws in experiences that match this energy. Beyond the emotional and psychological benefits, gratitude also positively impacts your physical health. Studies have shown that people who practice gratitude regularly experience lower levels of stress, better sleep quality, and a stronger immune system. When you align yourself with gratitude, you're not only nourishing your spirit, but also supporting your body's well-being. This is a reflection of the interconnectedness of mind, body, and spirit. When one aspect thrives, it has a ripple effect on the others. Living in gratitude, therefore, is a holistic practice that enhances every dimension of your life. To truly stay aligned with gratitude, it's important to make it a consistent practice rather than a fleeting feeling. Gratitude is not a one-time event, it's a lifestyle. It's a choice you make repeatedly, in big moments and in small ones. It's deciding to see life through the lens of appreciation, even on days when it feels difficult. By embedding gratitude into your daily routine through journaling, meditation, or simply taking a few moments each day to reflect on your blessings, you cultivate a mindset that becomes second nature. With time, gratitude becomes a part of who you are, not just something you do. Staying aligned with gratitude means choosing to live from a place of abundance, love, and appreciation. It transforms your inner world, shifting your focus from what you lack to what you have, from dissatisfaction to fulfillment. This internal shift then reflects in your external reality, attracting more of what resonates with this positive, grateful state of mind. By aligning yourself with gratitude, you align yourself with the flow of life itself, opening the doors to joy, peace, and the limitless possibilities that come from a heart that sees beauty in all things. Life is filled with moments of challenge, obstacles that appear suddenly, testing our resolve and forcing us to rethink our approach. But these obstacles are not blocks meant to stop us. They are opportunities in disguise, carrying valuable lessons and insights that can propel us forward. When we learn to view obstacles as stepping stones rather than barriers, we cultivate resilience, develop inner strength, and open ourselves to new perspectives. Transforming obstacles into stepping stones is about shifting our mindset and embracing the growth that each challenge brings. The first step in transforming obstacles is to change how we perceive them. Society often teaches us to see difficulties as setbacks, as signs that something has gone wrong. Yet in truth, obstacles are simply experiences that hold the potential to shape and strengthen us. When we adopt this perspective, we begin to see that every setback is actually setting us up for a breakthrough. Instead of feeling defeated by challenges, we approach them with curiosity, asking ourselves, what can I learn from this? How can this experience contribute to my growth? This shift in perception allows us to find purpose in even the most challenging moments. We realize that obstacles can serve as powerful teachers, revealing areas within ourselves that need attention or healing. For instance, if we face repeated difficulties in relationships, it may be an invitation to look inward and address unresolved patterns, insecurities, or communication skills. If we encounter financial setbacks, it might be an opportunity to develop financial wisdom, patience, or resilience. Each obstacle holds within it the seed of transformation, inviting us to explore parts of ourselves we might not have otherwise discovered. Another essential aspect of turning obstacles into stepping stones is cultivating resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from difficulties, to keep moving forward despite setbacks. When we view obstacles as temporary and surmountable, we naturally strengthen our resilience. Resilience doesn't mean ignoring our pain or pretending challenges don't affect us. Instead, it's about facing those challenges, allowing ourselves to feel what we need to feel, and then choosing to rise again. Through resilience, we learn that we are stronger than any external circumstance, and that our capacity to overcome is greater than we might have previously realized. One of the most powerful ways to transform obstacles is by finding the lesson within them. Every difficulty carries a lesson, a nugget of wisdom that, once uncovered, can change the way we approach similar situations in the future. Obstacles push us to expand our knowledge, build new skills, and sharpen our judgment. They teach us patience, adaptability, and perseverance. By actively looking for the lesson in each challenge, we not only gain valuable insights, but also reduce the likelihood of repeating the same mistakes. Each lesson learned becomes a stepping stone, lifting us to a higher level of understanding and capability. Obstacles can act as redirections, guiding us toward paths we may not have considered. Sometimes, when a door closes, it's because a better one is waiting to be opened. Obstacles have a way of pushing us out of our comfort zones, forcing us to think creatively and adapt. They can lead us to new opportunities, relationships, and insights that we wouldn't have discovered had we stayed on our original course. When we embrace obstacles as redirections, we become more flexible, willing to explore alternative paths without feeling defeated or discouraged. Developing a positive mindset is key to turning obstacles into stepping stones. It's easy to become discouraged and pessimistic when faced with repeated challenges, but maintaining a positive outlook helps us see beyond the immediate difficulty. A positive mindset doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending that challenges don't exist. Rather, it's about choosing to focus on potential solutions and remaining hopeful about the outcome. When we approach obstacles with optimism, we're more likely to find creative ways around them. Optimism fuels motivation, giving us the energy to keep going, even when the path seems unclear. Self-reflection is another powerful tool in transforming obstacles. Challenges often reveal parts of ourselves that we may not be fully aware of, our fears, limitations, or self-doubt. By taking the time to reflect on how we respond to obstacles, we gain valuable insights into our inner world. Perhaps an obstacle triggers a fear of failure, or maybe it highlights an area where we feel insecure. Recognizing these patterns allows us to work on them, ultimately making us more confident and self-aware. Each obstacle then becomes a stepping stone toward greater self-knowledge and self-mastery. Taking inspired action is essential in turning obstacles into opportunities. It's easy to feel paralyzed by difficulties, to wait passively for circumstances to change. But obstacles call for action, for stepping forward in courage, even if we don't have all the answers. Inspired action means moving forward with purpose, trusting that each step will bring us closer to overcoming the challenge. It might mean seeking guidance, developing new skills, or simply persevering with determination. When we take action with faith and intention, we demonstrate to ourselves that we are capable of handling whatever life throws our way. Support from others can also play a significant role in transforming obstacles. Often, challenges can feel overwhelming when faced alone. Reaching out to friends, mentors, or support groups can provide fresh perspectives and encouragement. Sometimes, simply talking through a problem with someone we trust can reveal solutions we hadn't considered. Support from others can remind us that we are not alone, that others have faced similar challenges and emerged stronger. In this way, obstacles can foster connection, bringing people together and allowing us to benefit from the shared wisdom of others. Gratitude is a transformative practice that can turn even the most daunting obstacles into stepping stones. When we approach challenges with gratitude, we acknowledge the growth they bring, the strength they help us build, and the lessons they teach. Gratitude allows us to see that every experience, pleasant or difficult, contributes to our journey in meaningful ways. By finding something to be grateful for in each challenge, we shift our focus from what we've lost to what we're gaining, from setbacks to opportunities. Gratitude helps us maintain a balanced perspective, reminding us that life's challenges are temporary, and that ultimately they serve our highest good. In transforming obstacles into stepping stones, we cultivate a mindset that sees possibility rather than limitation, growth rather than defeat. We develop resilience, embrace learning, and become open to redirections. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to deepen our self-awareness, build our inner strength, and expand our understanding. By embracing this approach, we not only navigate life's difficulties with greater ease, but also emerge from each challenge wiser, stronger, and more equipped to face whatever lies ahead. The path may not always be smooth, but with each step, we turn obstacles into the very foundation upon which we build our greatest successes. Detachment from immediate outcomes is a transformative mindset, one that enables us to pursue our goals with a sense of peace and unwavering trust, regardless of how things unfold in the moment. This approach isn't about abandoning ambition or caring less about what we desire instead. It's about releasing the need for instant gratification and learning to trust that everything will unfold at the right time and in the right way. When we detach from immediate outcomes, we free ourselves from the emotional turbulence that comes from trying to control what is inherently beyond our control, allowing us to focus more deeply on the journey rather than fixating on the destination. The desire for immediate results is deeply ingrained in modern life, where quick rewards and rapid progress are often seen as signs of success. We are taught to value outcomes, to measure our worth by accomplishments, and to seek validation through tangible achievements. However, this fixation on immediate results can create unnecessary stress, anxiety, and disappointment. When we tie our happiness and self-worth to the swift realization of our desires, we set ourselves up for a roller coaster of emotions, constantly fluctuating between hope and despair, depending on whether things are going our way. Detaching from immediate outcomes liberates us from this cycle, enabling us to approach life's challenges with greater calm and resilience. A key aspect of detachment is understanding that the journey itself holds immense value, independent of the end result. Every step we take, every effort we put forth, and every challenge we face contribute to our growth and learning. When we place our focus on the process rather than obsessing over the outcome, we become more present, more engaged, and more appreciative of each moment. We begin to see that the small victories, the lessons learned, and the skills gained along the way are just as valuable as any final achievement. By shifting our focus from the end goal to the journey, we invite a sense of fulfillment that is not contingent on external outcomes but rooted in the experience itself. Detachment also encourages us to trust in the timing of life. There is often a rhythm, a natural progression to how things unfold, and forcing outcomes can disrupt this flow. When we release our grip on the need for immediate results, we open ourselves up to the idea that things may unfold in ways we couldn't have anticipated, but that ultimately serve our highest good. This requires a deep sense of trust in ourselves, trust in our abilities, and trust in the universe or whatever higher power we believe in. Trusting in the timing of life allows us to relax, to let go of the need to control, and to remain open to the endless possibilities that life has to offer. Another benefit of detaching from immediate outcomes is that it reduces the fear of failure. When we are overly focused on achieving a specific result right away, we become afraid of anything that might prevent us from reaching that goal. This fear can paralyze us, holding us back from taking risks, trying new things, or stepping outside our comfort zones. However, when we release the pressure for immediate success, we become more willing to embrace the unknown. We understand that each experience, regardless of the outcome, is valuable in its own right, and that there is no such thing as true failure, only opportunities for growth and learning. Detachment allows us to find joy and fulfillment in the present moment. When we are constantly focused on what we want to achieve, we often overlook the beauty and richness of the present. We become so consumed by the future that we forget to appreciate the here and now. By letting go of our fixation on outcomes, we create space for mindfulness, gratitude, and presence. We learn to savor each moment, to find joy in the small details, and to cultivate a sense of contentment that is not dependent on external circumstances. This shift in focus enriches our lives, allowing us to experience a deeper, more meaningful connection with ourselves and the world around us. Detachment from immediate outcomes also strengthens our resilience. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, and things don't always go according to plan. When we are too attached to a particular outcome, setbacks can feel devastating, as if they are proof that we are failing or that our efforts are in vain. However, when we approach life with detachment, we are better equipped to handle these challenges with grace and adaptability. We see setbacks as temporary detours rather than as permanent failures, and we remain confident in our ability to persevere, knowing that every experience is part of the larger tapestry of our journey. Practicing detachment doesn't mean giving up on our dreams or settling for less. Rather, it means pursuing our goals with an open heart and a flexible mind. We continue to work hard, to set intentions, and to strive for success, but we do so without clinging to a rigid vision of how things must unfold. We recognize that there may be multiple paths to our desired destination, and that sometimes what appears to be a setback may actually be leading us toward an even better outcome. This openness allows us to stay adaptable, to explore new possibilities, and to embrace whatever comes our way without feeling defeated or discouraged. To cultivate detachment from immediate outcomes, it helps to develop a mindset of gratitude and self-compassion. When we are grateful for each step of the journey and compassionate toward ourselves, we become less reliant on external validation and more content with the progress we are making, regardless of how quickly it comes. Practicing gratitude allows us to focus on what we have rather than on what we lack, while self-compassion helps us to be gentle with ourselves when things don't go as planned. These practices build a strong foundation of inner peace, enabling us to pursue our goals with joy and resilience rather than with stress and frustration. Detachment invites us to embrace a sense of faith and surrender. Faith in ourselves, faith in the process, and faith in the unfolding of life. Surrender doesn't mean giving up, it means releasing the need to micromanage every detail and trusting that, in the grand scheme of things, everything is working in our favor. This faith and surrender allow us to move through life with a sense of calm and trust, knowing that whatever happens, we are exactly where we need to be. Do not make the mistake of exposing too much of yourself to the world, for there is power in what you keep hidden. The world outside is often eager to know, but the true strength lies in what is not revealed. When you share too much, you give away parts of yourself that should remain sacred. Your inner world is the most sacred part of you, more important than any external circumstance or opinion. It is where your thoughts, emotions, desires, and dreams are born. It is the space where everything begins and where the deepest manifestations of your life take root. To guard your inner world means to protect the very source of your creation. When you allow too much of the outside world to infiltrate your mind, you risk losing your personal power and control over your destiny. So, think about how much of your life is influenced by external forces. We live in a world full of noise, opinions and distractions, social media, family expectations, friends and strangers, all trying to shape the way we think, feel and behave. If you're not careful, these external voices can overpower your inner voice, drowning out your true desires and intentions. The moment you let these outside influences dictate your thoughts, you lose touch with the power within you. You are no longer the master of your own life, but a puppet to the forces around you. That's why guarding your inner world is essential. What you allow into your mind and what you focus on will ultimately shape your reality. Thoughts are powerful, they are the building blocks of your experience. If you let your thoughts be guided by fear, doubt, or the opinions of others, you will create a reality full of struggle, confusion, and missed opportunities. But if you protect your inner world and fill it with thoughts of possibility, abundance, and peace, your external world will reflect that. One of the greatest ways to protect your inner world is to limit the information you take in. This doesn't mean you should shut yourself off from the world entirely, but it does mean being mindful of what you expose yourself to. The media, news, and even casual conversations can carry negative energy and limiting beliefs. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, you begin to absorb it. You start to believe that the world is a dangerous place, that nothing good will come to you, and that you have no control over your own life. These beliefs infiltrate your inner world and prevent you from manifesting the life you desire. Be intentional about the information you allow into your mind. Seek out sources of inspiration, positivity, and empowerment. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who encourage your growth, and who share your vision for a better life. If you must engage with the outside world, do so with the awareness that you are in control of what you let in and what you discard. Your thoughts and emotions are yours to choose, and you have the power to protect them from anything that doesn't serve your highest good. Your inner world is also shaped by your beliefs, especially the beliefs you hold about yourself. If you believe that you are not worthy of success, love, or happiness, your inner world will be filled with self-doubt, fear, and insecurity. But if you choose to believe in your worth, your power, and your ability to create the life you want, your inner world will be filled with confidence, strength, and peace. Protecting your inner world means being mindful of the beliefs you allow to take root within you. If a belief doesn't serve you, discard it. If it doesn't align with the vision you have for your life, let it go. Your beliefs are the foundation upon which your reality is built, so it's essential to guard them fiercely. Another key aspect of protecting your inner world is learning to manage your emotions. Emotions are powerful, they can either elevate you or bring you down. When you allow your emotions to be controlled by outside circumstances, you give away your power. If you react emotionally to everything that happens around you, you're constantly at the mercy of external events. But when you learn to control your emotional responses, you take back your power. Instead of reacting, you choose how you respond. You don't let your emotions dictate your thoughts or your behavior, you control them. And in doing so, you protect your inner world. Managing your emotions is not about suppressing them or pretending they don't exist. It's about recognizing your emotions for what they are, energy in motion, and choosing to direct that energy in a way that serves you. If you feel anger, sadness, or frustration, acknowledge the emotion, but don't let it consume you. Instead, focus on what you can learn from it and use it to fuel positive change in your life. When you master your emotions, you create a calm and centered inner world that is impervious to the chaos of the outside world. Guarding your inner world means cultivating a strong sense of self-awareness. You must know yourself, your desires, your strengths, your weaknesses, and your values. When you are clear about who you are and what you stand for, you become less susceptible to the influence of others. You are no longer swayed by every opinion or judgment that comes your way. Instead, you stand firm in your own truth, knowing that you are the creator of your own life. Self-awareness allows you to discern what serves you and what doesn't, and to protect your energy from anything that doesn't align with your higher self. Guarding your inner world is not a passive act. It requires constant vigilance and awareness. It requires you to be mindful of the thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, and the beliefs you hold. It requires you to protect your vision for your life from the opinions and judgments of others. But when you make the conscious choice to guard your inner world, you reclaim your power. You become the master of your own destiny, and you align yourself with the life you truly desire. Your inner world is where everything begins, and by protecting it, you ensure that your external reality will reflect your deepest desires and dreams. There is a quiet power in mystery, a force that lies in what is not immediately visible or understandable. Mystery is not something to be feared, it is something to be embraced. When we reveal too much of ourselves too quickly, we lose the intrigue that draws people to us. It is in our silence, our restraint, that we hold the greatest power. The power of mystery lies in its ability to captivate, to draw others in, and to create a sense of wonder that leaves them yearning for more. Mystery has a unique way of maintaining control over the narrative. When you keep certain parts of yourself hidden, you allow others to wonder, to imagine, and in doing so, you remain in the driver's seat of their perception. People naturally want to understand others, but when they cannot fully understand, they are drawn into a deeper curiosity. It is this curiosity that gives you the ability to influence how others view you. The less you reveal, the more they have to search for, and that search can lead them down a path that suits your intentions. You, then, are the one who shapes the perception others have of you, rather than letting them define you by what you've already disclosed. Consider the impact of withholding just enough about yourself to spark curiosity. When you hold back certain aspects of your life, personality, or desires, it generates intrigue. People are naturally inclined to ask questions, to make assumptions, and to fill in the gaps with their own projections. But these projections, based on incomplete information, are always less accurate than the full truth. In this way, by being selective in what you share, you gain the upper hand in how others interpret who you are. You allow them to form an image of you that is shaped by their own desires and perceptions, not by your own words. It's important to recognize that the power of mystery is not about being deceptive or dishonest. It's about maintaining the space in which others can project their ideas onto you. You are not offering yourself up for scrutiny, nor are you providing everything for analysis. You are maintaining your dignity and your autonomy by not allowing others to dissect you completely. When you reveal only what is necessary, you keep the conversation about you fluid, open, and in motion. You prevent people from drawing conclusions too quickly or making judgments about who you are. Instead, they are left with a space to wonder, and that wonder is where true power is born. This sense of mystery also protects your energy. The more you reveal about yourself, the more you expose yourself to external influence. People will begin to form expectations based on what you shared, and they will project their needs and desires onto you. This can quickly drain your energy as you start to feel pressure to live up to the projections others have made. But when you keep certain things to yourself, you maintain your autonomy. You decide what is yours to give and what is yours to keep. You don't owe anyone your full story. Your life is yours to shape, and mystery is your shield against external forces that seek to control or influence you. The power of mystery also comes from its ability to keep others engaged. People are naturally drawn to things they cannot fully grasp. We have an inherent desire to understand, to solve the puzzle, to uncover the hidden truths. This is why mystery captivates us, because it triggers our curiosity and makes us want to know more. When you withhold just enough about yourself, you create an energy of anticipation, and this energy draws others in. They become invested in discovering who you truly are. The process of discovery becomes as compelling as the discovery itself, and in this way you become someone they want to be around, someone they want to understand. The longer you maintain this air of mystery, the more people are captivated by your presence. It's also important to understand that mystery fosters respect. People respect those who are not easily figured out, who do not hand over their personal life or their deepest thoughts to the world without care. There is a certain admiration for those who are able to keep their private lives private, to remain a little elusive, a little out of reach. When you are an open book, people may feel entitled to know everything about you. But when you maintain some level of mystery, you establish boundaries that communicate self-respect. You show others that you are not here to be picked apart, but to be respected as someone with depth and complexity. This, in turn, garners respect from others, as they are drawn to the enigma you present. Mystery also allows you to control the flow of information. When you keep parts of yourself hidden, you retain the power to reveal only what is necessary, when it is necessary. You become the gatekeeper of your own story. You decide when and how much to share. This gives you the freedom to choose who gets to know which parts of your life and when. The ability to reveal or withhold is a powerful tool, one that gives you control over how you navigate relationships, how you protect your energy, and how you influence those around you. This control over your own narrative allows you to lead with intention and create the life you desire. There is also a deeper, spiritual element to the power of mystery. When we remain mysterious, we remain connected to the unknown, to the infinite possibilities of the universe. The unknown is where all potential lies. The more we reveal, the more we narrow our potential, the more we box ourselves in. But when we leave some things unexplained, we remain open to all that life can offer. We leave room for the unexpected, for the miraculous. By embracing the mystery, we align ourselves with the unknown, the unseen forces that shape our world, and that is where the greatest power resides. In life, there is strength in what is unspoken, in what is unseen. Your power lies not in what you reveal, but in what you keep for yourself. When you maintain mystery, you maintain control. You protect your energy, you draw people in, and you open yourself to infinite possibilities. Mystery is not something to be feared or avoided. It is a tool, a force that, when used wisely, can shape your world in ways you cannot yet imagine. The less you reveal, the more you allow life to unfold in unexpected and extraordinary ways. Holds a power that is often underestimated in a world that thrives on constant noise and stimulation. In a culture that prioritizes talking over listening, action over contemplation, and words over presence, silence can appear as something passive or even uncomfortable. Yet it is in silence that true power resides. It is in silence that clarity emerges, creativity flourishes, and wisdom takes root. The power of silence is not about saying nothing, but rather about the space it creates for deep transformation, understanding, and connection. Has the ability to provide a sanctuary for the mind. In a world full of distractions, constant social media updates, news cycles, and endless conversations, it can be difficult to find a moment of peace. The constant bombardment of external noise drowns out the inner voice, the one that provides us with guidance, insight, and wisdom. But when we embrace silence, we create the space for that inner voice to speak. In the stillness, we can hear our own thoughts more clearly, we can connect with our intuition, and we can tap into a deeper understanding of ourselves. It is in silence that we find the answers that elude us in the chaos of daily life. The power of silence is also rooted in its ability to create space for reflection. Reflection is a crucial part of personal growth, but it requires quietude to truly be effective. Without silence, we are often too caught up in the noise of our thoughts and the demands of the outside world to reflect meaningfully on our experiences. In silence, we can revisit past experiences, process our emotions, and gain new insights. Silence allows us to step back and observe our lives without judgment, helping us to learn from our mistakes and appreciate our successes. It is in these quiet moments of reflection that we can truly grow, refine our understanding of ourselves, and create the conditions for our best self to emerge. Silence also has the power to foster deeper connections with others. In a world that is obsessed with speaking and self-promotion, many of us have forgotten the power of listening. True listening is an act of silence, a willingness to be present without the need to fill the space with our own thoughts or opinions. When we listen in silence, we create an environment in which the other person feels heard, valued, and understood. It is through this deep listening that true connection can be formed. In relationships, whether personal or professional, silence can create the conditions for empathy and understanding to flourish. When we silence our own voices and simply listen, we allow the other person to express themselves fully, and this creates a bond that words alone cannot achieve. The power of silence can also be transformative in moments of conflict. When we are engaged in a disagreement or a difficult conversation, our instinct is often to speak louder, to defend our position, or to push our perspective. But silence has the power to diffuse tension and create space for resolution. By choosing not to react immediately, by holding back words that might escalate the conflict, we give ourselves the opportunity to respond thoughtfully and calmly. Silence can be a powerful tool for remaining centered in the midst of chaos, for pausing before reacting, and for creating a space in which understanding and resolution can take place. In many cases, silence speaks louder than words, signaling a willingness to listen, to consider, and to respond with care. Silence is also a gateway to creativity. In a world that encourages constant busyness, it is easy to forget that creativity often emerges in moments of stillness. When we stop filling every moment with noise, when we allow ourselves to be still and quiet, our minds can wander freely and new ideas can surface. Silence opens the door to innovation, as it allows us to think without distraction, to explore possibilities without limitation, and to tap into the deep well of inspiration that lies within all of us. The greatest inventions, artistic masterpieces, and creative breakthroughs have often emerged in moments of quiet contemplation, where the mind was free to wander and imagine without constraint. The power of silence is also spiritual. In many spiritual traditions, silence is seen as a direct connection to the divine. When we quiet our minds and bodies, we open ourselves up to a deeper spiritual awareness. Silence allows us to connect with the greater forces at work in the universe, to experience a sense of oneness with all that is. In the stillness, we become more attuned to the present moment, and in that presence we find peace. Whether through prayer, meditation, or simple contemplation, silence provides the space for spiritual growth and connection. It is in the silence that we can experience the presence of something greater than ourselves, and in that experience we find strength, clarity, and peace. Silence is a form of self-discipline and personal power. The ability to remain silent in moments when we are tempted to speak or react is a sign of strength. It requires a great deal of self-control to resist the urge to fill every pause with words, especially in situations where we feel compelled to express ourselves. But the power to remain silent is a form of mastery over the self. It allows us to stay grounded in our own presence, to maintain control over our emotions, and to respond to situations thoughtfully rather than impulsively. By embracing silence, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and self-mastery that extends into all areas of our lives. Silence is a tool for self-preservation. In a world that often demands that we share everything, silence allows us to protect our energy and our well-being. We are not obligated to share every thought, feeling, or experience with others. By withholding certain aspects of ourselves, we create boundaries that protect our inner world. Silence helps us to guard our privacy, to preserve our emotional energy, and to maintain our sense of self. It allows us to choose what we share, when we share it, and with whom. In this way, silence becomes an act of self-care, one that ensures that we do not give away too much of ourselves to others or to the demands of the world. The power of silence is not just about the absence of sound, it is about the presence of peace, clarity, and depth. In silence, we find the space to connect with our inner selves, to reflect on our experiences, to foster deeper connections with others, and to tap into our creativity and spirituality. Silence is a source of strength, a tool for personal growth, and a powerful force for transformation. When we learn to embrace silence, we tap into a well of power that can guide us toward a more peaceful, intentional, and meaningful life. In a world that constantly tries to define who we are, it becomes crucial to take ownership of our identity and intentionally craft it for ourselves. To create your own identity means to step out of the roles others have assigned to you and embrace a sense of self that is deeply rooted in your inner values, desires, and aspirations. It is an act of empowerment, a choice to no longer be influenced by external forces, but to define and cultivate who you are from within. This process is not a one-time event, but a continuous journey, one that evolves as you grow and change. Your identity is not simply a collection of labels that others place upon you, such as your job title, family role, or societal position. These external labels are only fragments of who you truly are. Your identity is the essence of your being, the values you stand for, the experiences that have shaped you, and the vision you have for your future. When you create your own identity, you give yourself permission to be fully authentic and to live in alignment with your true self. It is about embracing your uniqueness, shedding the fear of judgment, and standing confidently in the fullness of who you are. A critical first step in creating your own identity is understanding who you truly are beneath the surface. This requires deep self-reflection and an honest examination of your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. It means asking yourself fundamental questions. What are your core values? What makes you feel alive? What are your passions and desires? What do you want your life to represent? The answers to these questions will serve as the foundation upon which you can build your identity. It's essential to recognize that the path to understanding yourself is not always straightforward. It takes time, introspection, and a willingness to confront both your strengths and weaknesses. But in doing so, you uncover the unique qualities that make you who you are. Once you begin to understand yourself, you must start to let go of the expectations that others have placed upon you. From the time we are born, society imposes certain roles, expectations, and norms. Our families, schools, peers, and even the media often try to shape us into something we are not. These external pressures can lead us to adopt identities that don't truly resonate with us. We may feel compelled to follow a prescribed path simply because it is what is expected of us, even though it doesn't reflect our true desires or values. To create your own identity, you must let go of these imposed roles and step into your own power. This can be uncomfortable at first, as it often involves challenging long-standing beliefs and expectations. But it is only through this process of shedding these layers that you can begin to reveal your true self. Creating your own identity also involves making choices that reflect who you truly want to be. It's about setting intentions for your life and taking actions that align with those intentions. This can mean making difficult decisions, such as leaving behind toxic relationships, changing careers, or pursuing a new path that feels more authentic to you. The choices you make today shape the person you will become tomorrow. You must recognize that your actions speak louder than your words. Each decision you make is an opportunity to reinforce who you are and the identity you wish to create. By living in alignment with your true self, you send a powerful message to the world. You are the one who defines who you are, not anyone else. Another key aspect of creating your own identity is learning to embrace your individuality. We live in a world that often encourages conformity and fitting into societal molds. But the truth is that your uniqueness is your greatest asset. No one else has your exact combination of experiences, skills, and perspectives. Embracing your individuality means celebrating the things that set you apart from others. It means being unafraid to express yourself authentically, even if it goes against the grain of mainstream society. When you embrace your individuality, you stop seeking approval from others and instead focus on being true to yourself. This process can be liberating, as it allows you to live a life that feels truly yours, free from the constraints of others' opinions. The process of creating your own identity also involves building self-confidence. In order to live authentically, you must believe in your own worth and abilities. Confidence doesn't come overnight, it is built through repeated actions and self-affirmation. You must learn to trust in your instincts and abilities, even when faced with challenges. It is also essential to recognize that confidence is not about being perfect or flawless. It is about accepting yourself as you are, flaws and all, and knowing that you are worthy of love, success, and fulfillment. Confidence is the key that unlocks the door to living authentically and creating the life you desire. When you believe in yourself, others will believe in you too, and your identity will become a powerful force that inspires and motivates those around you. Creating your own identity also involves cultivating resilience. There will be obstacles along the way, and the road to self-discovery is rarely smooth. There may be moments of doubt, fear, or setbacks that cause you to question your path. But true resilience comes from the ability to keep moving forward, even when things get tough. It is the ability to learn from failures, adjust course when needed, and keep your eyes on the vision of the person you are becoming. Resilience is the strength that allows you to maintain your commitment to your true self, no matter what external forces may arise. It is the inner fortitude to continue creating your own identity, even when the world tries to pull you in different directions. Creating your own identity is an ongoing process. As you grow and evolve, so too will your sense of self. Your identity is not a static, fixed entity, it is dynamic and fluid. You are constantly learning, changing, and adapting as you move through life. This doesn't mean that you are abandoning who you are, but rather that you are allowing your identity to expand and evolve in ways that reflect your growth. By embracing change and staying open to new experiences, you continue to shape your identity in alignment with the person you are becoming. Creating your own identity is one of the most empowering things you can do. It is a declaration that you are in control of who you are and that you will no longer let the world define you. When you take ownership of your identity, you step into your true power and begin living a life that is deeply fulfilling, authentic, and uniquely your own. It is a journey of self-discovery, courage, and growth, one that leads you toward the fullest expression of yourself. Imagination is often seen as a simple tool for creativity or daydreaming, a mental escape from the realities of life. However, imagination is much more than that. It is sacred. It is a divine gift, a powerful force that allows us to transcend the limitations of our present circumstances and tap into the boundless possibilities of our inner world. The imagination is the birthplace of all creation, whether material or spiritual, and it holds within it the power to transform our lives in ways we may not fully understand. To recognize your imagination as sacred is to honor it as the force that connects you to your highest potential, to the divine, and to the infinite possibilities of the universe. At the core of this sacred imagination lies the idea that what we imagine, we can manifest. Every great invention, artistic masterpiece, and significant achievement in human history began as a vision in someone's mind. Before any physical creation was made, it was first imagined. The imagination is the blueprint of the life you are meant to create. It allows you to see beyond what is visible, to envision what is not yet tangible, and to act as a co-creator in the process of shaping your reality. When you understand the sacred nature of your imagination, you unlock a powerful tool for manifesting your desires and bringing them into the physical realm. In its highest form, is not about wishful thinking or fleeting fantasies. It is a focused, deliberate creation of an internal vision that aligns with your deepest desires and values. When you use your imagination in this way, you are tapping into a force that is far more than just mental activity. It is a spiritual practice that connects you to the creative energy of the universe, allowing you to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the life you want to create. By envisioning what you want with clarity and conviction, you send a powerful message to the universe that you are ready to receive it. This sacred act of imagination is not just a passive process, it is an active participation in the unfolding of your reality. The sacred nature of imagination also lies in its ability to heal. Often our minds are clouded with fear, doubt, and limiting beliefs that keep us stuck in old patterns and habits. These negative thought patterns can manifest in our lives as obstacles and challenges. Imagination, however, offers a pathway to healing. By imagining new possibilities, new outcomes, and new realities, we can begin to shift our mental state and open ourselves to the transformation we seek. Visualization is a powerful tool that can be used for emotional, physical, and spiritual healing. Whether imagining yourself free of illness, overcoming obstacles, or achieving your dreams, the act of vividly picturing a positive future can help reprogram your mind, creating new neural pathways that support your growth and well-being. When you recognize your imagination as sacred, you also begin to understand its role in connecting you to the divine. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the importance of imagination as a way to connect with higher realms, to receive guidance, and to gain insight. In meditation, prayer, or contemplation, the imagination can serve as a channel through which you receive messages from the universe, your higher self, or divine forces. By quieting the mind and opening yourself to the inner world of imagination, you create space for divine wisdom to flow into your consciousness. It is through this sacred imagination that you can gain clarity on your life's purpose, find solutions to problems, and align your actions with the greater good. Imagination becomes the bridge between the material and spiritual worlds, allowing you to receive inspiration, creativity, and divine direction. Another aspect of the sacredness of imagination is its ability to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. The imagination allows you to see the world not as it is, but as it could be. It enables you to experience life through the lens of possibility rather than limitation. When you engage your imagination, you become more attuned to the beauty, magic, and wonder that exist in everyday life. You begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles, solutions where others see problems, and beauty where others see only the mundane. The sacred imagination invites you to look beyond the surface of things and to experience the deeper truths that lie beneath. By doing so, you begin to live a life that is more vibrant, more full of potential, and more aligned with the truth of who you are. To cultivate and honor the sacredness of your imagination, it is important to protect it from the noise and distractions of the outside world. In a society that often prioritizes logic, reason, and practicality, it can be easy to dismiss the value of imagination. Yet, it is in the quiet moments of stillness, when we allow ourselves to daydream, to dream freely, and to envision the life we desire, that we connect most deeply with this sacred power. The more you nurture your imagination, the stronger it becomes, and the more effectively it can work in your favor. Take time each day to engage with your imagination, whether through meditation, visualization, or simply allowing your mind to wander without judgment or restriction. In these moments, honor your imagination as the sacred tool that it is, and allow it to guide you toward the life you are meant to live. The sacredness of imagination also means recognizing its role in creating the life you envision. It is not enough to simply imagine, you must also believe in the possibility of what you are imagining. Your imagination works in conjunction with your belief system. If you do not believe that what you are imagining is possible, your mind will block its manifestation. But when you hold a strong belief in the power of your imagination, when you truly feel that what you are imagining is not only possible but inevitable, you unlock the full potential of your creative power. Imagination becomes a vehicle for both mental and emotional alignment, drawing you closer to your desired reality. In embracing the sacredness of imagination, you also begin to let go of the need for external validation. Imagination does not need the approval of others to be real. What you imagine is yours alone, and it is valid because it comes from the depths of your own heart and mind. The opinions of others, no matter how well-meaning, do not have the power to limit what you can create. Your imagination is sacred because it is uniquely yours. It cannot be replicated or defined by anyone else. Trust in your vision, and know that the very act of imagining it brings it closer to manifestation.